We also have talked, even on this channel, about Angel's very dramatic response to the AngelReese started with, "I'm heartbroken. I'm literally lost for words, knowing what this woman meant to me in such a pivotal point in my life. She was the only person," which is interesting since she's been coached before.
It's almost unimaginable that AngelReese would still have the gall to stir up controversy with her ludicrous comments after being accused of Saint this time. She dropped the bombshell about her coach Teresa Weatherspoon, and believe me, if treachery had a face, it would definitely be Teresa's right now.
Unfortunately, it seems like, according to some new reports, that relationship cost her her job.
Angels are out here spewing some major tea and saying that's not the truth. But Chicago Sky authorities are out here informing everyone that Teresa was banned because the squad didn't perform.
Point being, she disrespected the official. That was the official response to this.
So, why is she acting this way? Are her statements true? Or is this just another abrupt change in circumstances? Reese saga, since things are becoming complicated, and the internet has been blazing ever since due to AngelReese. Let's start at the beginning.
We have a rivalry here. AngelReese wants to be Draymond Green. But there's nothing about her game that's really interesting that is going to translate to people who may not watch the WNBA, may not care about basketball.
Ray was once hailed as the next big thing in the WNBA, but now she's at the center of a scandal so wild it's shaking the league to its core. After months of rumors, the truth finally came out. Ray allegedly turned to performance-enhancing drugs and a desperate attempt to stay in the spotlight after all what you do when you can't keep up with the talent in the league. Well, not so much turned to steroids to bridge that gap.
AngelReese is the villain, Caitlin Clark is the hero, and AngelReese continued to play into it last night by getting ejected, and it's almost like it's all scripted. This is perfect for the WNBA. She's all the talk. She's the one standing up there in front of reporters saying, "I need all of you guys to realize there's two of us that changed the game of women's basketball, and it's not just Caitlin Clark. I was a part of that 2 years ago in the national championship game, and it's going to continue to be that way from here on out." I kind of love it. I don't agree with her. It's way more Caitlin Clark than it is Angel.
When it was revealed that Reese had tested positive for performance-enhancing substances, the WNBA world went crazy. Her team at the time, the Chicago Sky, suspended her while they investigated, but let's face it, we could all see where this was headed.
Anybody who's watching could see that what was going on with Chicago and with AngelReese and the double-double streak and all that stuff wasn't good for Angel, wasn't good for the rest of the team, wasn't good for the whole organization.
Reese's career took a sharp turn for the worse in the fourth quarter when the test results were announced. Her shooting percent was already in jeopardy, but this completely wrecked it, leaving the league fans stunned, and the Sky cut her free.
WNBA has been around a couple of decades, and people didn't notice the game. They're noticing it now. Well, that's because of Caitlin Clark, not
Reese allegedly used more than just over-the-counter vitamins. Instead, she allegedly experimented with anabolic steroids, which build muscle more quickly than you can say, and EPO, also known as IIOP-POIN, a serious performance enhancer that increases red blood cells, the stuff that marathon runners and cyclists use to become superhuman. Both of these substances are obviously strictly prohibited by W's regulations and the WNBA, so they're not playing around with this kind of thing. Athletes who are caught using these banned substances usually face harsh reality suspensions, public humiliation, and a big old question mark for the rest of their careers. They also face pressure to stand out and stay relevant in a league that is now dominated by players like Kate Clark, who essentially spent her rookie year rewriting the WNBA record book. Clark was at the court averaging 20 points per game, breaking assist records, and making everyone else seem to be moving slowly.
Is real. The addiction to attention is real.
In contrast to Clark's supernova-level performance, Reese's 11.5 points and 9.2 rebounds per game weren't awful, but it felt like she was competing in a foot sprint with a jet engine, and to be honest, a lot of her rebounds were just her grabbing her own miss attempts. Reese's steroid use rumor paints a really depressing picture of an athlete who chose the easy route rather embracing the grind because he couldn't keep up with Clark's spotlight. R reportedly used these performance enhancers in the hopes that they would help her get closer to the league's elite, but instead they caught her and expelled her from the Chicago Sky more quickly than you can scandalize it.
I think the biggest thing she should focus on is just finishing around the rim. That is something where maybe her rebounds will be halved. However, she will still make such an impact.
Reese didn't have to do this. She had the talent when she first joined the league, and everyone expected her rivalry with Caitlin Clark to be the next big storyline in women's basketball. Instead, she has become the face of one of the biggest doping scandals the WNBA has ever seen, and fans and analysts are now wondering if she ever played clean or if her entire career was based on a lie. This is the kind of fall from grace that
said, hey, she'll play the villain role. Kennedy Carter certainly embraces that as well. Chad, right after we're discussing Angel Reese and the villain in the storyline and the plot that brings eyeballs to the product of Caitlin Clark on tour across the WNBA. She's ejected for the first time in her WNBA.
Chicago, after putting a lot of effort into building its fan base and brand, the WNBA is now in a PR nightmare as one of its most well-known players is accused of cheating, leaving the league to scramble to clean up the mess. Sky suspended Reese right away as the inquiry started and the positive test came back.
Reese prematurely ended her rookie season to spare herself the embarrassment of losing Rookie of the Year to Caitlin Clark.
But let's not ignore the psychological toll that all of this must have had on Reese. Some sources claim that while Clark was out there setting records, signing sponsorship deals, and guiding her team to the playoffs, the pressure she was under, especially from all the comparisons to Caitlin Clark, was wearing her down. Reese was forced to make some really bad decisions since she was on a team that was incapable of winning. The continual criticism and attention from the media probably made her choose the worst course of action in an effort to achieve.
Reese is stirring this up, so while she doesn't, Angel Reese always comes off as the...
It turns out that the fallout from Angel Reese's steroid scandal not only hurt Reese's career, but also nearly destroyed the locker room, shattering her teammates' blissful trust and sending the Chicago Sky into complete chaos akin to a reality show that no one signed up for. If you're a big star, you shouldn't have to exploit yourself in addition to breaking the rules. So hold off on your sympathy horses before you start feeling sorry for Reese. The team's spirit is lost in the locker room, and the players can no longer support her. The team was already having a bad season, and now their star player had put the final nail in the coffin. Someone who is supposed to be a leader using illegal drugs ruined her relationship with the team. Angel Reese requires Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is not required to in addition to Angel Reese. There were rumors that Teresa Weatherspoon, the head coach of the Chicago Sky, may have been implicated in the entire steroid scandal. This storyline twist was reminiscent of a poor sports drama.
You're a big star. You should not need to beg for attention. If you're a big star, you should not have to exploit your...
According to the rumor, Weatherspoon, who is supposed to be directing the squad, may have actually nudged Reese in the direction of the iceberg in an effort to save the team's waning 13-27 record, suggesting that Reese try a little boost. Weatherspoon apparently thought, why not, during that difficult season. It's the kind of rumor that makes you wonder if you've entered a parallel universe where the coach is giving you poor counsel instead of game plans.
Reese needs Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark does not need Angel Reese.
Although Weatherspoon had only been with the Sky for one season, she came in hot hoping to turn things around, but instead they quickly went south. According to insiders, she was so fed up with losing that she allegedly encouraged Reese to juice up while fully aware of the situation. The management pressure, the terrible season record, and her mounting frustration all seemed to push her over the edge.
Pissed off because they're not just like, it's not just about one player, it's about me too. And it's like, wait, time out. Nobody, I haven't even seen it.
And as soon as that scandal happened, Chicago's front office pulled the Weatherspoon plug faster than you could say, scandal out the door. The message was clear, loud. The Sky wouldn't stand for any of this. Her coaching reputation suffered greatly, and this tragedy eclipsed what had once been a successful career built on player development and leadership. The fire of Weatherspoon was more than just dismissing a coach who was unable to win games. It also involved clearing the slate, separating the team from all connections, and cleaning the house.
Reese and her coach, former coach I should say, Teresa Weatherspoon. We had all heard a few weeks ago that the Chicago Sky said goodbye to Teresa Weatherspoon, saying that it was time to, quote, make a change.
The fact that Reese and Weatherspoon were fired at the same time, however, wasn't just a coincidence. It was a statement that the Chicago Sky needed to cleanse itself of any toxic influences if they had any chance of starting. Caitlin Clark's rise in the WNBA was legendary.
Sky had major culture issue under fired head coach. That, of course, is Teresa Weatherspoon. First-year coach criticized for tailoring game plan to benefit Reese. And again, many of us could see it.
Name is currently, but we're talking about next-level supremacy here. The type that makes you question whether she's really driven by rocket fuel or something else. She's involved in a steroid scandal that is destroying her career faster than you can say poor decision. Only Clark's talent, persistence, and unwavering mental toughness have contributed to his success. Yet, Reese was lagging behind while Clark was out there dominating for the
may have led to her demise, which was reported from Annie Costabile. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. She's with the Chicago Sun-Times, and she recently reported that Weatherspoon was tailoring the Sky's game around one or two players, led to some serious dysfunction inside.
Perspective for every record that Clark's broker game seemed to change a little more. But Clark wasn't just gathering statistics. She was also taking center stage. Brands were practically throwing money at her, and Nike gave her a $28 million contract as if it were nothing, making headlines everywhere. Best of all, she didn't need a villain or drama to command attention.